Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. I'm your host, Michael Tabor, and actually, I'm a little warm. This is not full. Well, anyway, beautiful, beautiful day. It's Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock, September 21st, and it'll be fall in 2 more days. Okay, so getting right into this. I know I talk about Joe Rogan all the time. What can I say? I listen to every single podcast. I love it, and I get ideas all the time. I got notebooks. I kid you not, notebooks, and every day I'm constantly ideas. I write them down. So when I do this video recording, this is just one of many. I could do these all day, every day, right? So you need input, output, right? I read books, listen to podcasts, just think. I just sit there and think and all this. So Joe had the Black Keys, the two-member rock group from Akron, Ohio. Really, really interesting guys. Real fun. And they talk a lot about the music business, really everything. Growing up in Akron, Ohio, Steubenville, West Virginia, the whole thing. You learn a lot, like behind the scenes, like what is it like to make an album, like two nobodies. Although they actually were related to some people who were sort of famous. They get into it, listen to the podcast. But anyway, they got into simulation theory. Now, that's my thing, right? I've been talking about this for 5 years. I've been reading all these books, and I am, as people know who follow me, I am convinced that we're in a simulation, right? Joe had Nick Bostrom on last week, who came up with this sort of theory. If you go on Wikipedia, the simulation argument, the simulation hypothesis, simulation theory. He's written a book called Superintelligence, which I've read. I've already read. I'm going through it a second time, carefully and slowly. And he had him on. You talk about excitement. I've been waiting for this guy. Nick Bostrom is my guy. And he convinced me. 100%, not 100%, nothing's 100%. But I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident that we are living in a simulation right now. Now, you might say, come on, man, you're crazy. Like, this is real, like, it's solid, and you go to work, you take a shower, you take a shit, that just seems like solid. You get in your car, you know what I mean? It just doesn't seem like there's some sort of simulation. But let me just say this. Read the book. Go on Amazon right now. Order Nick Bostrom's Superintelligence. It blew me away. So I read that book, plus 5 years ago, August 2014, actually it was the beginning of September, I had an NDE, near-death experience. I died, and I saw something. I've done several videos. Go on my channel and check it out. NDE, I saw, when I died, I saw this gigantic, monolithic, abacus-like digital computer talking to me, like reading, communicating with me telepathically, sending like visual things, like a computer, like a holographic thing. It was a holograph sort of thing. And let me just say this: I did not believe this at all. I didn't even study. I didn't read it. I wasn't like a Trekkie or anything, I was not into this at all. This just happened to me. Do you understand? It's fucking real. We're in a simulation. Okay. So I was talking to my wife for months. I go, what the hell is this computer thing? Like, I died, and like this thing, it was like sending like visual things. Like, it's almost like today, well, I'll come back to my ID. So look at technology today. All right. So it's 2019. You see your phones. Like the i11 just came out, right? And it's just incredible. It's in the side, my i10, but it's just incredible what we could do. And eventually the phones are going to have a holograph. So you call your friend or your mother or something, you call them, they're going to pop out. There's going to be a person here. I want to call my mom. You call holograph, right? We could do FaceTime, but eventually this is going to be a holograph. Eventually everything sort of is. It's going to be, it's too long to explain in this video. But eventually there's going to be virtual and reality. Now, if you project this out, just see where we're going right now. 2019, us, right? If you project it out, it becomes obvious that this has happened before, that we're in some sort of simulation. Think about, okay, I got to bring myself back in here. Okay. Elon Musk's argument starts kind of with this sort of technology thing, right? The video games, and you see where we've come. Eventually, he states that virtual reality is going to be indistinguishable from base reality. Like, duh, we can already see that happening. Like, VR now is a little crude and crass, and we put the things on. And yeah, you know that you're in virtual, but this is just the beginning. This is only a couple of years in. Talk about 10 years from now, 20 years, 100 years, 1,000. Like, there's going to be a time when base reality is indistinguishable from virtual. 100%. All right? It's there. Okay? And then think about how big the world is. What? Earth, third planet from the sun, our solar system, part of, our solar system is nothing. Our sun is one in a 100 billion. 100 billion stars like our sun in our one little average Milky Way galaxy. And there are 100 billion, say billion galaxies. And in the swirling around, the center of which there's a black hole which perhaps leads to an infinite number of universes. Okay, people, so think out of the fucking box here. This is beyond our comprehension to think about the numbers. So Nick Bostrom's argument about simulation is the probability. If you understand two things, if you understand probability theory and the anthropic principle, right? That's another thing he talks about. Kind of hard stuff to sort of wrap your mind out. But Nick Bostrom says the odds that we are not in a simulation is something like 1 in 100 billion. Maybe it's not that high, but it's 1 in 100 million, something like that. Maybe it's not 100 billion, maybe it was 100 million. I'm sorry, that's a big difference. But 1 in 100 million, the odds that we're not in a simulation. He's totally convinced. Now, nothing's 100%. But the way he broke it down, he goes, probably we are in a simulation. Here's the thing, and Joe brought this up, and this is true, and I actually wrote this down. If you look at probability theory, and you understand it, if you know about odds, like craps and 21, all that, probability, we are in a simulation. Is there any evidence of which? No. Nope. That's the weird thing. Could this be possible that this life here on Earth, third planet from the sun, and all this is happening, just happened once and we're the only ones around? It seems outrageous, but it's possible. I guess it's 1 in 100 trillion, something like that, that we're the only ones alive in this whole universe, and it's never happened before, right? It seems crazy, the whole thing breaks your brain. But then again, there is no evidence. But could we even know if there was evidence? You see, like, you talk about simulation and has their extraterrestrial, that's another whole thing. I'm really practical. I'm talking about simulation. The stuff that Elon Musk is talking about, the stuff that Nick Bostrom's talking about. Put it this way, people. These people are way smarter than we are, the average person. Nick Bostrom and Elon Musk, like, these are probably the smartest people that ever fucking lived. Right? They're convinced that we're in a simulation. And he even talked guys like Sam Harris and Bill Gates, right? I mean, Bill Gates has not come out publicly saying that we're in a simulation, but the smartest people on the planet are convinced that we're in a simulation. And let me wrap it up with this. Probability theory states that we are in a simulation. The evidence, there is none. So take that and run with it. All right. With that, I hope this made sense. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Having fun here. Peace, love, and understanding on Tabor Talk.